This is the Acorn Trail campground loop at Mokope River State Park in Maryland. And I'm going to just do a quick walkthrough. This video will also include probably 2 more loops. And there's a second video that has the additional 3 loops. This is a very nice state park, clean, well maintained. I've stopped at several of the bathrooms and they're all clean and well maintained. Some of the sites here are just tent and dry camping. Some, like this one, site 1, have electric, and all of them have picnic table, lamp post, and fire pit. This is site 2. Sites here generally are pretty level. Some of them are sloped near the road, but they're leveled once you get into them. Most of them here are good for just about any rig. The sizes they post on their website are pretty accurate. This is site 3. Plenty of room for 2 tents and a couple of cars. Electric again. This is site 4. Obviously a lot of room over there. Level, has a nice little bench at the lamp post. This is site 5. Again, level and easy to access. This is site 6. Power, no water, level, easy to access. This is site 7. This is site 8. This is a Saturday, by the way. It is June 29th. And as you can see, a lot of these sites are open. This is site 9. Here's a water spigot. This is site 10. Again, very level site, lots of space, easy access. Good for just about any rig. This is site 11. Slopes a little bit at the front, but it's pretty level on the back. Any pull behind or fifth wheel probably work okay here. Motorized might be a little more problem. This is site 12. Site 12 is spacious and level. This is site 13. Again, lots of space, level all the way through. Slopes maybe a little bit to the front. This is site 14. Also may slope a little bit to the front. Restrooms are over there. Again, clean and nice. This is site 15. Site 15 slopes a lot toward the front, but you can see that's about a 23-foot travel trailer, and they didn't have any issues at all. This is site 16. Site 16 slopes a lot to the front. Probably best for tent campers or small camper units. I wouldn't look at putting anything more than 20 feet in there. This is site 17. As you can see, there's lots of space here. It's pretty level all the way through. And you can get off the road with multiple vehicles. This is site 18. Site 18 is sloped a little bit to the front, but nice and level in the back, nice and wide. Good for tents or pull behinds up to maybe 20 feet, camper vans. Anything more than about 20 feet, you may have a difficult time leveling in that site. This is site 19. 19 slopes a little bit to the front. They've got a Class C with a trailer behind it, and they're obviously having a little difficulty. This is site 20. Site 20 is sloping to the front. You can see they've got a lot of support under their front jacks. All of these sites are spaced pretty well apart, so you get pretty decent privacy in them. This is site 21. Site 21 is very level, easy access, got good leads in and out, and you could fit just about any rig in there and level it easily. This is site 22. There is water directly across, and site 22 is deep and level, nice and wide at the back. This is site 23. Site 23 could give you a little problem with the angle. You have to curve once you're in the site, but otherwise not too bad. Site 24, nice and level. You can see there's a big fifth wheel back there. No problems leveling that. This is site 25. 25 is flat and level all the way in. A little tight, maybe for some rigs at the entrance between a couple of trees, but generally I think pretty good for anything. This is site 26. Site 26 is level and easy access. This is site 27. Site 27, you're going to deal with a couple of trees at the front, and it leans a little bit to the front edge, so I'd recommend small campers or tents in that site. This is site 28. Same situation, slopes to the front. Once you're at the back, it's pretty level, which is kind of the case with a lot of the sites here. They tend to be a little unlevel at the front, either sloping in or out, and level at the back. This is site 29, flat and level all the way in, big long site. So far all of the sites on this loop have had power. And this is site 30, the last site on the loop. It slopes a little bit right at the front here, down into the site. Once you're in the site, it's level and spacious. And here we are at the road leading out again. This is the Water's Edge loop at Pocomoke River State Park in Maryland. I think I may be going through this backwards, but we'll find out. This is site 90. It is a dry camping site, level and nice tent access there. This is site 67, again predominantly a tent site. Has a picnic table, lantern hook, and fire ring. This is site 74, a bit smaller. You could probably only fit one car in here. This is site 66, level at the top, a little sloped at the bottom here. This is site 73, also a little sloped at the front. Good tent sites though. This is site 65, pretty level all the way through, good space for tents, or a small camper maybe. This is site 72, another tent site, water access right here next to 72. This is site 64, nice and level. You could probably fit a small camper in here, but it is dry camping. This is site 71. Not quite as much space in this site as a lot of them. You might end up putting your tent over here between 71 and 70. This is site 70, slopes a little bit to the front, level on the back side. This is site 63, comes up at the front, level on the back side. This is site 69, slopes down to the road at the front, pretty level in the back. Again, good tent pads. This is site 62, and it's pretty level once you get in, slopes toward the site. This is site 68, slopes toward the road, level in the back. This is site 61. You can see there's plenty of room in there. You could easily park a couple of extra cars, and it's pretty level all the way through. One thing to bear in mind in these, if you're tent camping, is you're better to have this site slope down toward the road, because then if it rains while you're there, the water is going to run toward the road and not toward your tent. So keep that in mind. These sites here are pretty sandy underneath the little bit of topsoil there is, so drainage should be pretty good, but it's also pretty low. So you may end up, if it rains and you're on one of the sites that slopes into the site, you could end up in a little bit of a puddle. So you may want to keep that in mind. Okay, going around the loop here. All of these are dry camping sites in this loop, so they're predominantly for tents and small rigs. This is site 75. Slopes down to the road, nice and level once you get in, space to park a couple of cars. This is site 81, backs right up to another site, so you might be a little close there, but it's pretty level all the way through. This is site 82, also pretty level all the way through, slopes just a little bit toward the road. This is site 76, good level tent pad and slopes just a little bit toward the road. This is site 77. Might be better for a smaller tent or like a camper van, but it's a little low on this outer corner. This is site 83, nice and level once you're into it. Slopes just a little bit toward the road on the gravel. There's a water spigot here. This is site 78. 78 is more grassy than most of them here. Most of them have a nice little pad. Site 78 has kind of a mossy bed. Slopes a little bit toward the road. This is site 84. 84 seems to be level all the way through. Nice pad on the back there. This is site 79. 79 is a little bit sloping towards the road. This is site 85, slopes just a little bit toward the picnic table. This is site 80. It's sloping a little bit toward the road here, but it's pretty level up on the end. I may have already shown this site, but this is site 89. Pretty level all the way through. Nice pad for your tent back there. And then this is called the Waterfront Loop because the road here abuts the little river. And they do have a little marina here. You can launch a boat and there are slips that you can tie up in. I don't know what the fee for that is, but there are people fishing here and there are places to tie a boat up. You can also rent a kayak or a canoe. Right here next to the water, there aren't any sites. You have to cross the road here to get into one. And that brings us here to site 88. 88 leans out towards the road and a little bit towards a picnic table. It's a little low in the middle, but would be fine for a tent or a small camper. Here is another water spigot, and up in the tree there, you may or may not see it, there's a bat box. This campground does a good job of handling nature well. This is site 87. You can see they're at a little bit of an angle in this site, and the reason is that it slopes a little bit toward the front, and if they didn't set up at that angle, their tent would slope to the left front corner. This is site 86, and it's pretty level all the way through. As you can see, there are a couple of tents in there. Some of the other loops have a little bit more spacious sites, and so they can be a little better for that. I'm going to end this video here because this road just takes me back out to the main road. This is the Fox Den camping loop at Pocomoke River State Park in Maryland. This campground walkthrough will just describe each of the sites as best I can walking through them. The first site is here. It's site 60. It's fairly level, good for small rig, very small rig, or a tent. There's the restrooms. The restrooms at this campground are very clean. I've seen a little bit better, but I've seen a lot worse. This is site 31. Nice site, lots of space. It is dry camping. You've got a picnic table, a lantern hanger, and a fire ring. This is site 32. Again, level, gets pretty close to site 31 in the back. Here we have site 33 is the first one here. It comes in, has a bit of a bend, and then it's pretty straight back there. Might be a little trouble if you're not good at backing up. Site 34, both of these sites are level and flat. They are both dry camping. This is site 35. 35 is level all the way in, good space for tents, lots of additional parking. This is site 36. 36 is a level site all the way in, good pad for your tent. Could probably park 2 vehicles here. Might be able to squeeze in 2 tents if they're not huge. This is site 37. Site 37 is a little unlevel at the front. Once you get into the site, it's level and flat. This is site 38. 38 is sloping down from the road, but it's level once you get in. You could fit most trailers and a couple of tents back there. This is site 39 and 40. They share access from the main road. Site 39 is the one that goes straight back here. Slopes up toward the site. It's pretty level at the back. 1 tent pad. You'd have a hard time fitting more than 1 tent, but you could easily park a couple of cars. Site 40 here also slopes up to the tent pad, so you need to be aware of that. It probably wouldn't work at all for a camper. This is site 41, and 41 slopes down from the road, and once you get in it, it's pretty flat, pretty level. You could probably fit 2 tents in there. You could fit a small camper. This is site 42 and 43. Again, a shared access. Site 42 here is level and flat in the back. Same with site 43. And it would be easy to get into either one of these with a small rig. Up here on the right is site 44. As you can see, it's pretty level once you get into it. They've got the whole site shaded. Good tent site. You could probably fit a lot of different small campers in here. It is totally dry camping. This is site 46. 46 slopes a little bit down into the site. Nice and level when you get in the back and space for plenty of tents. This is site 45. 45 has lots of area in it, and it slopes down into the site a little bit, but I don't think you'd have any problem with flooding in that site. One of the things this campsite has, or this campground has, that's a little different than a lot is it has a few of these little stub roads. So back here in the 44, 45, 46 sites would be a great place if you were camping as a extended family. You needed multiple sites. If you could get the 3 of these together, you'd have a very private camping area, and you wouldn't have any traffic other than the friends you were camping with. Okay, over here on this side is site 47. Site 47 is sloping a little bit out towards the road. Once you get back in again, it is pretty level, and you can see that camper didn't have any problems. He's raised a little bit on the driver's side. This is site 48. Site 48 is a pretty small site. You wouldn't want to try to get in here with anything more than about 20 feet as a camper. It slopes from the level pad down to the road. This is site 49. Site 49 slopes down to the road. The pad, once you get inside, is a little bit sloping toward the fire pit. This is site 50. Site 50 is fairly long, a gradual slope all the way up to the square where the tents are supposed to be set up. Anything more than about 25 feet here, you're going to have trouble possibly with leveling. This is site 51. Site 51 slopes down toward the road, and again, once you get into it, the pad area is pretty level. This is another little stub road off of the main loop. Out here are sites 52 on the right and 53 on the left. 52 is a little bit sloping toward the road, nice and level once you get in. It's a pretty private area because you're separated enough from site 51, and it's level in the back. Site 53 here slopes toward the road. It's level in the back pad. Again, a pretty private site. You wouldn't want to camp in one of these with anything other than a tent or maybe a Class B. Anything longer than a Class B, you're going to have a difficult time leveling, and so it's best strictly for tents. Here on this corner of the spur, there is a water spigot. This is site 54. Site 54 is sloping toward the road. It's level once you get in. You probably wouldn't want more than like a 10 by 10 cabin tent in there. It'd start to get pretty cramped. This is site 55. 55 slopes a little bit toward the road at the front, pretty level once you get in. A little bigger than site 54. You could easily fit a couple of tents in there. This is site 56. Site 56 is pretty level all the way through. You can see the little van camper there is pretty level. Site easy to get into. Again, it's dry camping, but great if that's what you're looking for. This is site 57. 57 would be difficult to get in with any sort of a tow behind. Camper van would probably be fine. Space for a couple of tents. All of these sites are on a loop that circles the restroom, so it's easy to get to the restrooms from here. This is site 58. 58 is pretty level all the way through. Slopes just a little bit to the front, but you could level just about any camping rig in there. This is site 59. 59 slopes to the front, lots of tent setup space. I don't think this would be a good site for any sort of drivable rig. Probably okay for a small tow behind like a pop-up. And here we are back at site 60 and headed back to the main road.